May the peace of the goddess be forever in your heart. The circle is open but unbroken, merry meet and merry part. By the earth that is her body, by the air that is her breath, by the fire that is her bright spirit, by the living waters of her womb. May the peace of the fairies be forever in your heart. The circle is open but unbroken, merry meet and merry part. By the earth that is her body, by the air that is her breath, by the fire that is her bright spirit, by the living waters of her bright spirit, may the peace of the goddess be forever in your heart. The circle is open but unbroken, merry meet and merry part. By the earth that is her body, by the air that is her breath, by the fire that is her bright spirit, by the living waters of her bright spirit, may the peace of the fairies be forever in your heart. The circle is open but unbroken, merry meet and merry part. By the earth that is her body, by the air that is her breath, by the fire that is her bright spirit, by the living waters of her bright spirit, may the peace of the goddess be forever in your heart. The circle is open but unbroken, merry meet and merry part. By the earth that is her body, by the air that is her breath, by the fire that is her bright spirit, by the living waters of her bright spirit, may the peace of the fairies be forever in your heart. The circle is open but unbroken, merry meet and merry part. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again.
Merry meet and merry part. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Morristown, in person. It's always great to see your faces and share your energies. There's nothing like it, right? But also, of course, online. Those of you that are joining us online today or any tomorrow, we're grateful you're here with us. We continue our theme for the year, which is A Grand Rising. And for April, it is Giant Gentleness. We bring that giant gentleness today in a new way to our mother, the earth, in celebration of Earth Day weekend. And so I want to explore this idea of awakening. What does it mean to awaken? And is there room to be more awake? And then to grief, because I think what we're witnessing amongst humanity today is a lot of joy, but also a lot of grief, a lot of ungrieved grief, because ungrieved grief is projected into the world by means of suffering, violence, war, hunger, climate change, all those things, right? And then, as we always do in our teaching, we move back into a consciousness of celebration, because those of us who are here or witnessing this through the live stream, we are on a spiritual path. We are Science of Mind students and practitioners. That doesn't mean all licensed. But in the studying and in the practice, it shows up in how we deepen our relationship with our Mother, the Earth, especially today. We have John Heron, who's joining us today from Princeton as the assistant practitioner. And I'm just really grateful to be here today. So we do a Namaste practice. Namaste is the Sanskrit has a Sanskrit meaning, which is the divinity in me blesses the divinity in you. So it always invites us to look beyond the physical form, to look at the spirit of someone, which is pure essence, right? Pure light, pure love. But today we're also going to include our Mother, the Earth. So put your hands together and just bow to someone and say Namaste. Namaste. Remember, you're giving and you're receiving. Because when we namaste, we tend to just be giving, but you're also receiving. Somebody is seeing the spirit in you. And now close your eyes, place your hands on your heart, and bow to our Mother, the Earth. And send her your blessings, your gratitude, maybe even your sorrow. And now let's treat our word for affirmative prayer. So right here, right now, each of us is an instrument of the divine. Each of us in our own unique, exquisite way. There is an ever-running flow through us that is pure light, pure love, pure joy, pure wisdom. And we are given this life to reveal that. And so then what's happening is we remember, we forget, we remember, we forget. And that dance is the dance of awakening because we are given free will. And so we must choose always the higher roads. We do this with gentleness and with love because they're in the gentleness and the love, there is no room for shame or fear or guilt or judgment. And so it becomes our daily practice, sometimes hourly practice. And so today we remember in our practice to include our Earth Mother, for she gives and gives and gives and gives. And right now, she's suffering, and it's affecting all of humanity. So we lend our love from a place of faith and hope and vision, and we resolve anything that's in the way of that within our own consciousness. And then we slip into gratitude because we know that there is a universal law that supports our prayers, our practices, our words, our deeds, and our vision for a world that works for everyone. And so it is. And so it is. So, Earth Day. How are you celebrating Earth Day? Anybody celebrating Earth Day? I guess only one or two people. Well, that's really fabulous because if the answer is no, yes, some of you, that means that I'm speaking to the right crowd. Right? So, personally, I'm having a conflict in my own mind and my own heart because I want to celebrate, but I'm grieving more than celebrating. I think about the 70s. Yeah, I was alive in the 70s. I wasn't here yet in the United States, but I clearly remember when Earth Day was the first time. It was in 1970, so that's 50 plus years ago. And 50 plus years ago, we were told by scientists that if we didn't change our ways, we would pay the price. And here we are today. We are in a profound crisis on our planet. It is the worst it has ever been. People are having a hard time breathing. People are having a hard time eating healthy, living healthy. Our air is poisoned, our water is poisoned, and our soil is poisoned. And it makes it harder and harder for people to make healthy choices. Sometimes financially, sometimes economically, sometimes just because of access. And so you might think, oh my gosh, am I in the right place? This is a spiritual center. She's totally depressing us. If that is your response, that just means that there is some healing work to be done, which I think is true for all of us. I believe we need to look at the world the way we see it and use it as an invitation, first of all, to see how we're projecting our own consciousness onto the world, but secondly, to be a good steward. And really, that's the invitation today, to be a good steward without judgment, without shame, but with hope and faith. In the realm of the physical world, we have moved, our generation, us, those of us who are alive, from one era to the next. The era that has ended is the Holocene era, and we're moving into the Anthropocene era. The last era, the Holocene era, started almost 12,000 years ago and ended with the Ice Age, or at the end of the Ice Age. But now, the Anthropocene era, and there is some disagreement among scientists, the sad thing is that this is the first era that is about how humanity is responsible for mass extinction. You and I are now, for the first time in the history of the world, responsible for this sixth mass extinction. It has been said that this era started in the 50s with nuclear power, with nuclear testing. Kind of makes sense, right? And so it's named the Great Turning, capital G, capital T. It's also named the Great Forgetting. And what is it that was forgotten? What was forgotten is that life is sacred, that all life is sacred, that the planet and everything on it is sacred. Native peoples, indigenous people know this well and have been talking to us about it. But we need more stuff. We need more books and clothes and makeup. We need more cereals. There aren't enough brands of cereal, really. We need more kinds of beverages and soaps and gadgets. And what else do we need more of?
More colors of drinks.
More colors of drinks. What else do we need more of?
Tchotchkes.
Tchotchkes.
More cars.
More cars.
More sushi.
More sushi. More
Sports.
more sports, right? And so, again, I want to remind you that I'm not here to judge because I'm human and I'm guilty just as much as anybody else is. I'm also very aware of what my part is, and I was raised in an environment where recycling and composting was totally the norm. And I was born in the late 50s. And so there is a deeper and a greater understanding of what is ours to do and to be, right? And so my meditation teacher, who wrote two amazing, well, a gazillion amazing books, but there's two of them. One is called Spiritual Ecology, The Cry of the Earth. And it has many authors in here that are speaking of the cry of the earth, like Thich Nhat Hanh, Thomas Berry, Chief Tamale Bolawa, Sister Miriam McGillis, right? Who else do we have? Sandra Ingerman, Pierre Zia, Inayat Khan, and Father Richard Rohr. It's a wonderful resource. What makes me sad is that this was printed 11 years ago. And then there's this little spiritual ecology book that kind of is a companion of 10 practices to reawaken the sacred in everyday life. And they are so basic and simple: walking, breathing, gardening, cooking, cleaning, prayer, death. So I recommend this little book to you. I'll leave it here so you can take a look at it. But I want to read to you this brief piece, what my teacher is saying, he's suggesting that we're not just facing an ecological crisis. Remember, 2013 is when this was written, probably 2011, 2012. We are not just facing an ecological crisis, but a spiritual crisis. A spiritual crisis caused by our deep forgetfulness of the sacred nature of all of creation. We need to respond to the call of the earth and begin the work of healing its body and soul. Our present crisis is an opportunity for us to reclaim our sacred role as guardians of the planet. As guardians of the planet. And so the good news is that we understand that when there is any crisis, whether it's in your personal life or in the life of someone you love, or when it's a group of people, or it's our planet, that we start our work in consciousness. We start with a spiritual response. That's the good news. What I am noticing is a very high level of anxiety in people. And a high level of anxiety is partly because of the poisons on the planet, but also because unconsciously people are very aware that something is terribly wrong. That what we're noticing of what we have done to our mother, the earth, by raping, plundering, and purging her of all her resources so we can have a bigger car, a better car, more books, more cereals, more sports, right? Our smartphones, our computers, is that, and I forgot the rest of my sentence. But the good news is that we go to cause, capital C. We go to the spiritual principle behind it. We go to the spiritual healing that wants to happen by means of us. We go to consciousness and we listen to that inner guidance that says, Spirit, what is mine to do? What is my way to serve? Because each of us has a responsibility. Each of us are guardians of this planet. And so that's where we act from, so that we can act from a place of inner guidance, spiritual guidance and vision, rather than from fear, worry, anxiety, and anger. That's what I was talking about. The level of anxiety we're witnessing is not just because of COVID. It's not just because of politics or a political divide. It's much deeper than that. It's the forgetting that life is sacred, that we are sacred, and that each of us is a divine expression of the universal presence. And so I'm very, very excited about some news I recently received. And it's also in Science of Mind magazine. We have like only 2 left. But it is how many of you are reading Science of Mind magazine? A couple of you? Yes. It's an article by David Alexander, who just wrote a great book, about Earth Day. And this is what it says. I'm very, very excited about this. So if you're excited, you might want to join. It says, the U.S. Climate Action Summit, taking place April 22nd through the 28th, next week, is said to be one of the most influential convening of climate leaders from the business, the government, and non-profit sectors coming together in Washington, D.C. to tackle the roadblocks to effective climate action. Better news. Center for Spiritual Living developed a strategic alliance partnership with World System Solutions and the Global Action Coalition. We are a participating member of the United Nations Climate Emergency Response Forum.
Wow.
Right? It's called CERF. CERF, United Nations Climate Emergency Response Forum. If you want to know more, go to cerfsurf.un.org. SURF held its first gathering in 2023, during which CSL was invited to the table as a strategic partner, joining a diverse group of people who employed a whole systems approach to address the meta crisis threatening our planet. If you want to read this article, it's in Science Mind magazine. I'm very excited about this because it's just a reminder that we as a spiritual organization are at the table when it comes to issues that humanity and our earth is struggling with. And each of us are invited to do our part. And that can only become known to us through our own spiritual practices, through our own questioning. Every morning when I awaken, the first thing I do is a spiritual practice, a prayer, and I end with the question, what is mine to do? How am I to serve today? And I ask that of my own spirit. Sometimes I don't like the answer. And so we awaken, and then once we awaken, we might realize that we have more grief than we thought we did. Because especially in this culture, we don't like to grieve, and we will cover it up with anything to avoid it. Think of your favorite addiction: food, sex, alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, shopping, being on Facebook, being on your phones, which I know is very addictive. It's created that way, right? So we want to pay attention and notice that those are all ways to avoid, I would say, grief, but it could be any feeling that you just don't want to deal with, that you just don't want to feel. It's in our spiritual practices and in being still that stuff rises to the surface. That one of the reasons it's so hard for people to meditate is because they don't want to feel that. They don't want to see it. They don't want to hear it. So let's run. Let's go shopping. Right? And so we include our spiritual practices, and we are present with the suffering that is happening on this planet to our brothers and sisters all over. It's very Buddhist, right? Because Buddhism says it is through suffering that we awaken to our own essence, our own purpose, and to the clarity of our own principles. How many of you are familiar with the Hawaiian practice of reconciliation and forgiveness, Ho'oponopono? Yes, Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian prayer that is really easy. The beauty is that we can all do it. How does it start?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. And then,
Please forgive me.
please forgive me. And then,
Thank you.
thank you. And then,
I
I
love you.
love you. It's a very simple practice. We can practice all the time. Today, the invitation is practice it with your mother, the earth. Just sitting in silence and go, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry how I have been unconscious. I'm so sorry I've given in to greed and consumerism. I'm so sorry that I have harmed you and hurt you. And I'm partly responsible for all this poison. So sorry. Please forgive me. Forgive me. Do you think Mother Earth would say no? She's never said no, ever. Please forgive me. And then thank you. Thank you for all you give to me and have given to me. And then I love you. When we love something, when we love someone, we treat it with deep respect and deep kindness and deep thoughtfulness and deep gentleness. I occasionally have stink bugs in my rooms. Don't care for them very much. So I take them and put them outside, and I say, don't come inside, because next time you're going down the toilet. Just know that. Because sometimes I don't have the time or the energy to put them in a cup, take them outside, right? And so I haven't seen as many. They listen. We can use Roundup, glyphosate, and be a part of poisoning our planet and killing people in the process, or we can talk to the bugs or find more natural ways to keep them at bay or send them somewhere else, right? And so it's a very simple practice. Those of you that do spiritual mind treatment all the time, great, keep doing it. Those of you that says, I don't know how to do it, do the simple Ho'oponopono prayer in your practice. And then what happens is we move to celebration. So we awaken, we grieve, we celebrate. There is so much to celebrate. Being on this planet, being human, being alive. Just driving here this morning and seeing everything bloom again. The mother didn't say, you all screwed up, I'm not blooming this year. I'm done. It blooms again. How resilient nature is. And you know what scientists say as well? The earth is going to be fine.
Yes.
We're not. So we celebrate by acting from a place of the sacred. What is mine to do? How can I participate? How can I be a better steward? Because a new thought creates a new action. How does it go again? Treat and move your feet. Treat and move your feet. It means to center in our spiritual awareness and to act from that. And it doesn't have to be big, because that's probably not realistic for us as a little puny human being, because most of what we're seeing now is large corporations being responsible for the poisoning. But we can participate. How many of you know the story of the starfish? I think you know it when you hear it, so the bear's repeating. There's a man at the beach, and the whole beach is filled with starfish, and they're on dry land and they're dying. So he goes and picks up the starfish and throws it in the ocean, and he goes and he picks up the starfish and throws it in the ocean. Somebody's watching him throw in 100 starfish. And the man goes up there and he goes, why bother? You're never going to get them all to survive or to throw in the ocean. Doesn't matter. And he says, matters to this one. So think of the starfish story. It matters what you and I do. And it starts with falling in love with our mother, the earth. Falling in love with our beautiful, beautiful planet. And healing what gets in the way, right? And each of us can reduce our carbon footprint. Each of us can do better. And I want to say what I'm saying and what I'm going to say. I want to not say it from a place of judgment or shame. So if that's your reaction, then good. Because that's something that wants to be healed. Because I have one pet peeve. Who knows what it is?
Trash and recycling.
Trash and recycling. Franny?
Plastic bottles.
Plastic bottles. Plastic bottles. It's not personal to anyone. I just want you to know, first of all, what you're drinking is poison, because the plastic from the bottles leaks into the water and you're drinking that. What else I want to tell you is just some stats. It takes 17 million barrels of oil to produce the plastic required for bottled waters consumed by Americans in 1 year. Which is enough fuel to fuel more than 1 million cars a year. This makes me want to scream and cry and burst out. It hurts my heart. The Pacific Institute estimates that it takes 3 liters of water, a liter is about 4 liters in a gallon, 3 liters of water to make 1 liter in a bottle. Over 73 billion half-liter bottles of water are consumed in the United States in a year. Only 29% are recycled. And we don't know where that ends up, right? Meaning 50 billion bottles end up in landfills or are polluting our waterways. The recommended 8 glasses of water a day, 1,460 pints, at 25 cents a pint, if you buy at Costco, will cost you $365 a year. At $1 a bottle, well, let's not talk about how much they cost at the airport. At $1 a bottle at a convenience store, that's $1,460. If you're not sure, what is one thing you can do is to stop buying those bottles. Just stop buying them. When I see people walking around with cases of these, I want to scream. I don't want to judge, I don't want to shame ever, but I want to scream because there's no awareness. It's so unconscious, right? There are amazing filters on the planet. I have one that's fabulous. I'm not advertising, just ask me. And then these wonderful little containers that Fernando got for us that we're using over here, right? And so it's been a pet peeve for a while because it's one thing we can all do to make a change. Pull out your list. How many are on here? We don't have one yet. How many are on here? How many tips for reducing your carbon footprint?
21.
21, yes, thank you, math person. 21. Do you think there's one on there that you could do now, that you could step into, right? Some of them are very simple. Save water, refuse single-use plastic, wash your laundry with cold water. Did you know that the wash comes out the same whether you do cold or hot? I only learned that 4 years ago because Norman taught me that. Buy seasonal and local. Reduce dairy, plant more trees, fly less, switch to green energy. There's lots of one. And there are lists on the internet that say 100 ways to reduce your carbon footprint. My invitation to you is pick one, at least, to start anew, something you haven't done before, something that's maybe new to you. And if you're not sure, look them up on the internet, because that one starfish lived because somebody picked it up and threw it back in the ocean. You and I can make a difference. You and I can make maybe only a small difference, but when we begin to practice more conscious way of loving our mother, the earth, people are going to notice. I have walked around with tiny pieces of paper and people said, "You're recycling those?" I am still shocked when I see people throwing trash out their car window or not recycling, including here. We have toucans. They're marked. How are they marked? Trash and recycling. And guess what I do every Sunday? In the recycling bin, I pull out trash, some of it is disgusting, and put it in the trash can. I know it's a little act and probably doesn't make a difference, but it makes a difference to me, right? And I know all of you do your best. I know that. And I know all of us can do even a little bit better. Maybe buy a pair of shoes less this year, or a piece of clothing, especially check and see if it's made in China. Don't buy it in slave labor. Check it. Right? I bought something accidentally on Amazon, and I didn't research where it was from, and the moment I noticed this was from China, I sent it back. I have nothing against China. I love China. It's on my bucket list to visit. But it's slave labor. So it is from other countries. So it is with your lithium batteries in your electric cars. Know what you are purchasing and be as aware as you can, as conscious as you can, as thoughtful as you can. And so, on the back of this lovely book, it says, our present ecological crisis is the greatest man-made disaster this planet has ever faced. Remember when this was written? Who remembers?
11 years ago.
2011, 2012. Our present ecological crisis is the greatest man-made disaster this planet has ever faced. Accelerating climate change, species depletion, pollution and acidification of the oceans. A central but rarely addressed aspect of this crisis is our forgetfulness of the sacred nature of creation and how this affects our relationship to the environment. This is vital and necessary if we are to help bring the world as a living whole back into balance. You and I have this precious relationship with our Mother, the Earth. We love her. We love her. Anybody here that says nature? We love her so much. But now it's about establishing a deeper mutual relationship and to love her with your prayers and your actions and your thoughts and your heart of hearts and your soul. You and I know how to do that, or we wouldn't be on a spiritual path. So let's know that. And then John is going to lead us through a beautiful guided meditation, and he's going to bless us with a closing treatment in a little bit. But first, we're going to listen a little bit more to Elaine Silver, who sings her beautiful music in honor of the earth. And you're welcome to sing along.
I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Goddess. I am one with God. I am one with the heart of the Mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Goddess. I
Are you listening? Are we listening? We're a spiritual community. What does that mean? Are we listening? And not with just with our ears. We're a spiritual community. That means we know that there's an inner ear that we can listen with. Right? Are we listening? We can listen with our bodies. Are we listening? With every part of ourselves. Otherwise, what does it mean to be a spiritual community if we don't listen? So let's do a meditation. And when I say let us do a meditation, it's us. We are the presence of Spirit here today, whatever that means to each one of us. So let's listen. Just for a minute now, whatever you need to do, whatever each of us needs to do to relax, to be present in our chairs, or if you're listening at home, to be wherever you're sitting. What do you need to do now to just be present and listen? Are we listening? Just imagine for a minute that you're out, as the Japanese say, we take a shower in the forest, a forest shower. Just imagine you're walking out in the forest. And you can allow your eyes to close now. And just be in that forest. And recognize that each one of us is in a different forest. But each one of us is one as a group here. And so we walk around in this forest and we smell. Maybe you can just take your 2 fingers and take one of those pine needles and just squeeze it a little bit and smell that fragrance. Can you smell it? And maybe right in front of you there's a small pond. Can you see it? Can you see it with your inner eye? Is there an even deeper place that you can see it from? Because just as we, as human beings, communicate with each other, the earth communicates with us. Are we listening? Because right now, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to listen with the deepest place inside of us that we can. And that's what's present for each one of us. We listen. And we see this pond, and in the center of the pond is a lotus. A round flower with 1,000 petals. And it's pink, a very pale pink with yellow tips. And it's talking to us. Maybe not with the same language that we use with each other, but it has a language and it speaks. Are you listening? And so now just go to that place inside where you can listen from. And now go a little deeper, because beyond the place that you think you listen from, there's even deeper places. And know that that lotus is speaking to you. It's speaking the language of the earth. It speaks it through its fragrance. It speaks it through its beauty the beauty of its color, of its form. Are you listening? Because this is the voice of Mother Earth, of the ground upon which we stand. And it is always speaking. Are you listening? And this lotus has a message for you, for each one of us. And so right now, listen. Listen to the message that Mother Earth has for us. And know that it's your own mind, your own being that is receiving that message. So if you think you're not hearing something, you are. Listen to the message of Mother Earth. And now in your imagination, know that there is a word or a message that's specifically for you. And if you listen, you can hear it. Because Mother Earth is as alive as we are and always talking. But are we listening? And right here, right now, we are listening. So what's the word or message that Mother Earth has for you? What is yours to do, to be, to know, so that you can be one with the earth that we live on and nurture ourselves by nurturing the world? Just listen. There are new truths to be learned from the fragrance of the leaves. The beauty of the flowers. Listen. Open your heart, your mind, your full consciousness, and listen. And just be with that. Maybe this is just the beginning of listening for you, for each one of us. Because just as we receive our blessings from our friends, from the people in our lives, the earth has a blessing for us. And it is time for us to receive that blessing. And so, bring your awareness back to your seat. Feel your feet on the floor. Hear the sound of the people around you. And know that there is no end of blessing in our lives. And we can become one with that blessing by listening. And so let this be the beginning of your listening to the message that Mother Earth has for us. We here are a spiritual community. We listen. Let that listening become part of your life and translate what you learn from it, what you hear, into your actions. And so we are blessed here today. Emma Curtis Hopkins has a definition of that word God. The good that is in everything is her definition. And today we receive the good that is in the earth for us. And we do that by listening and then reacting in our lives. And so thank yourselves now for taking the time to listen. And maybe look around the room and thank the people around you that they are part of our listening today. We are here as a spiritual community, which means we listen. And thank you, I thank you for letting me be here today. Thank you.
Aww, that was so lovely. I put my ears to trees and flowers. At least I know nobody thinks that's weird in here. I hope. So we're really grateful you're here. If you're here for the first time, we have a welcome packet for you, and you get to pick a free book off the shelf in the back. And you can sign up for our weekly emails over here that tell you everything that's going on at the center, as well as the topics on Sundays and who's assisting and who we have for music. So you want to sign up for that. Or those of you that get the emails, read it and check it out. We have some wonderful volunteers, and I'm always grateful for all of our volunteers. We are specifically looking for some volunteers to work with Mark, who's our new IT team lead. And so if you want to learn, which is a great gift being in the world today, or if you want to support him, he will talk to you about maybe picking one Sunday every month or one Sunday every 6 weeks to help with our IT stuff and all that. So speak to Mark. We also have found out that you all love social hour, which means that somebody makes the coffee and somebody brings food. We're always happy to reimburse you for that. So if that's something that you would like to be a part of, I think it's always more fun to have two people do it together, right? So just sign up on the sign-up sheet at the door. Our new social hour team lead is Christy Fondavilla. So Christy would love to have you. And we have our annual meeting in 2 weeks from today. The reports are going out this week. We'd like all of you to stay for that because Christine Goldthwait is going to facilitate a meeting for us on our next yet best to be. Most of you know by now that this is my last year here. Might slip into January, February, but we're focusing on what are some things that we would love, so you can all be a part of that. The Universal Dances of Peace are happening next door on Saturday. We are co-hosting it, and it's from 1 p.m. until 2:30 p.m. If that's something you want to do, it's really fun. Great music, singing, and dancing, and you're taught that you must register because right now they don't have enough registrations for it to have, so it might get canceled. So register as soon as you can. The information is right here as the QR code. I am offering the Untethered Soul for the 3rd time and the last time. And we've done it in person twice, and now we're doing it on Zoom Wednesday nights. You can hop on any of the classes. You don't have to commit to all 5 of them. But this Wednesday is number 2. And those of you that are online, check on our website. Those of you that are here, all the flyers are over there. And we're having a lot of fun with that. Then Arlene is offering a photography as a spiritual practice on May 11th. There's flyers of that as well. We have a marvelous May potluck. Please speak to Kathy or Jean. It's going to happen on Friday, May 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. right here. And hot off the press, another flyer. It's a concert. Remember we had that wonderful folk project concert? So thank you, Elizabeth and Kathy, for making that happen. It's going to be Saturday, June 22nd at 7 p.m. 2 folk project favorites. Flyers are over here, so register for that as well on Breeze. I think that's all. Yes. Oh, it's okay. So now we have our wonderful John closing us out with a healing treatment. And then we all go, yippee, we go play there. Oh, John is, oh, wait, John. People want to give support and money. So somebody's going-
absolutely.
So before I do that, John will do Treatment Express, right?
Yes.
Which is if you are in need of a healing prayer, a healing affirmative prayer, a healing spiritual mind treatment, it's like a mini one. So you just come up here, John will be here, just share what, it's not a life story thing, it's not a counseling session, it's just, I can't snap anymore. It's like that, yes. Say,
Come on,
I
Betty.
want treatment for this, and he treats, and boom, next. So, and he will run that show, right? So, we, as a community, are supported by your donations. We love your support as a volunteer, as treating for us, but we rely on your donations. So we don't ask you to give something that you're not able to give. We ask you to give because you love this community and you want to support it and you feel generous. So give what you can, even if you can't give today. We love you anyway. So I'm going to pass the basket. You can use the envelopes if you want. I personally love tax-deductible donations, so I always make sure my gift is identified. But I know that that's not necessarily for everybody, but if that's what you want, you need to take an envelope. So let's repeat after me with this abundance affirmation. I don't like this one anymore. I am so grateful for my abundance. Every time I think it isn't enough, I flip it. And I remember that I always have enough. I always do enough. And I always am enough. And that's worthy of celebration. And so it is. Now it's you.
Now it's me.
Now it's you.
Now it's us. Right? Now it's us. So let's just take a minute and be grateful for all the presence of all of us here today and all the wonderful things we've learned from Dr. Frankie, from each other. And so this word is for this community and all who have participated today in this service and all who may be watching at home whenever they're watching at home. There is what I call infinite living blessing. That to me is whatever God means, that's what it means to me. Infinite living blessing. And I know that's what's present in everything, in the earth, in each of us who are listening here today, in the lives of everyone in the world. Infinite living blessing. Yes is what is present in the world. Yes. Always yes. And I know that each one of us is an individualized expression of that yes. That yes. Yes to the earth. Yes to each other. And so I know that what is present now is the spirit of yes in the hearts of each one. And I know that each one goes out into their lives and lives that spirit of yes right here, right now. That is what is present for each one knowing exactly how to express that in their lives so that their lives are filled with infinite living blessing, including the blessing of the earth. And the earth blesses us, and we bless the earth, and all are lifted up together. And knowing that to be the truth, I'm so grateful to share this truth and be part of this truth here today. And I release this to the law, which means that it is done. And so it is.
And so it is. So it is.